Hello, everybody. This is Dr. 𝗕𝗂𝒂𝒊𝒏. Welcome you to another version of Destination Health Podcast. I'm here with my partner in crime, Dr. Irene 𝗕. We're going to be talking today about a masterclass that we have going on tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. Dr. Irene, how are you today?
I am awesome, Dr. Dan. Thank you so much for inviting me on here.
It's always great. I think you are the #1 guest on the podcast by far. Like nobody even comes close to you, which is great. So, Dr. Irene, she's a founder of the Stress to Success 𝗕𝒃 Institute. We're laughing. We can't even tell you what we were talking about.
We were in the green room before this talking and laughing.
Yeah, we were just laughing. Dr. Irene 𝗕 helps purpose-driven high achievers shift from stress to success in all areas of life: career, wealth, health, energy, relationships, personal health, and even in laughing and comedy just a little bit. Dr. Irene's comprehensive background and expertise spans Eastern and Western medicine. She has dual degrees. She's a medical doctor and a doctor of chiropractic. Man, that's a lot of studying. With extensive training in acupuncture, neuroplasticity, elite performance psychology, I love that, stress management, and resilience, very important. Globally sought after speaker, neurophysiological meditation instructor, host of the internationally acclaimed podcast, Stress to Success 𝗕𝒃. Dr. Irene, thank you again for being on. Let's get right into this because tomorrow we have a masterclass, a free masterclass at noon. And in the comment section in this, you will have a link so that, if you're around tomorrow, this is going to be great. We're going to do a hot seat coaching session. Tell me, what is a hot seat coaching session?
Thanks again for having me, Dr. Dan. And yeah, I'm so jazzed. This is got to be the most popular part of any program I ever run. And that is the Retrain Your Brain hot seat coaching. And it's an opportunity. I call it Retrain Your Brain because it's literally, remember, neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to change itself. And it's our ability to retrain our brains for optimum efficiency, optimum energy, optimum power, really. It's the genius of our 100 billion brain cells that gets sidetracked and maybe knocked offline because we're in stress mode. Survival mode is really what it is, and we can't think straight, we can't think logically, we can't think creatively, we can't make good decisions, we can't act on those decisions. And it's also about releasing what I lovingly call the energy vampires. Remember, energy efficiency is what it's all about. The energy vampires that are the biggest success blocks. So our fears, our victim sabotage patterns. We don't like to think of ourselves as victims. And the reality is that we have, all of us play the victim at some point in our lives. Me too, been there, done that.
We all do it today still, no matter
Absolutely.
how. Nobody's perfect, right?
We don't think about it. And it really, what victim means is anytime you're feeling powerless, like you have no choice, that you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, like that decision-making has been taken from you, right? That's when you're in victim, right? And then dealing with our programming that blocks us from having the success in all areas of our life. And success, when I say all areas of our life, that's not just career and wealth. It is your health and energy, your relationships, your personal life. And then finally, one of the biggest energy blockages and success blocks out there is our trauma, our personal trauma, our intergenerational trauma. In other words, what we get handed down from our parents. And now they realize epigenetic trauma, in other words, from our ancestors that we actually inherit. So it's all of these that are housed in our unconscious mind, that it's, mindset is beautiful. I love mindset. I also love meditation. I'm a meditation instructor. And there are times where we need to drill down and get to that unconscious level and clear out the BS so that we can our energy will like snap back like that, right? And so that we can then, and our executive rock star team of our brain goes back online, and all of a sudden we can start finding the creative solutions that are going to bring us the results that we've wanted all along. And this is what our hot seat sessions are all about. It's like, yes, we have programs that do this, and the hot seat sessions are a way for individuals to bring their questions or concerns to the table and get the opportunity to have one-to-one coaching with me through their particular challenge. And if they don't feel comfortable saying it online in the actual class, I highly recommend that people DM me or email me with their question or concern. And then if they say that it's confidential, I don't mention names.
Right, you'll just say, hey, listen, somebody's confidential and this is what we're going to do. Yeah. And what's your email address that they can send this to, you know, if they want to come in tomorrow, which I recommend everybody does, because I was in the first one last week and I was amazed at what was going on. So where can they find you, or where can they email you a question?
The best way is to email my team at hello@drirenecop.com. So DRIRENECOP.com. And it's hello@drirenecop.com. And DM me on whatever social platform, or respond here. And I'm sure Dr. Dan will forward it to me, or DM Dr. Dan. I'm sure he'll give it to you as well.
Yeah, you can send it to me. I'll do that. And I'll make sure Dr. Irene gets it. So this is very exciting. This is where you actually take an individual and you do the personal coaching with them in a very safe environment. You know, there's those that are going to be on the call tomorrow, and everybody's going to be interested. So, you know, there were those last week that were raising their hands that were like, oh, I want the personal coaching. So it's a very safe environment. It's an environment where, you know, it's nurturing, nobody's saying anything, and we're all just kind of listening in and making sure that we're understanding what you're doing, correct?
Absolutely. And the most important thing that I say is that vulnerability really is your superpower. And so when you can have the courage to be vulnerable, even amongst perhaps strangers, and share what's troubling you and what's holding you back, then that opens up a whole new vista for you. Number one, because to work with me on one-to-one, like as a client, costs way more, and this is free. And number two, and then people will say, well, I didn't want to say anything because I'm the only one with my problem. And I would say, guaranteed, you may think that you're alone. Trust me, you're not alone. There are always other people on the call in the world that have the very same challenge or similar, that this will resonate with them, and everybody gets something out of it. And that's the other point. If somebody comes on the call and says, well, you know, I don't have anything specific right now, they're still going to benefit from working through the issues. Guaranteed. I've seen this time and time again,
right? Because
you don't know what you don't know. And on top of that, just the exercises that we take you through are enough that you will guaranteed have physical, mental, emotional, energetic benefits.
And you know what? It's definitely the exercises that you're going to go through tomorrow, depending upon the coaching session. It's worth the price of admission, which is free. And you know, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to be in a situation where you can help yourself out. And I think that's invaluable. So we talk about awakened awareness. You talk about awakened awareness. What's that? And how does this play into it?
So there are many different ways that I help people. And I loved what you said about helping people help themselves, because that's what I'm all about, right? It's not about me doing the work. I used to be in physical practice, just like you, Dr. Dan, and I now love that I can help people help themselves. In other words, I'm not doing the therapy for them or the treatment for them. I'm teaching them how to help themselves.
Mhm.
So that, guess what? In medicine, we say, see one, do one, teach one.
Right.
Right. So it's the same thing, is that going through this, you see me doing it, then you do it yourself, right? I guide you through it. And then you learn the tools and techniques so that then you can help your family and then others, right? In other words, that's the beautiful part about this, is that it's about teaching you the tools. And one of the biggest and best tools is awakening awareness. And that is, I always say, awareness is 80% of the battle and the solution. So if you don't know what you don't know.
Where did you get that from, Dr. Irene? You don't know what you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. So I don't know where that came from.
I think you got it from somebody, that phrase. Anyway.
I may have, I don't know.
You don't
So
know.
I don't know what I don't know. So my favorite analogy is that if you want to clean a house and you have, say, an area rug that's sitting in your living room, for instance, right? You can clean all around, you can clean the top of the rug, but if you don't lift the rug to see if there's any dirt under it, how do you know if it's clean? Right? So yes, you can do a certain amount of work without knowing what's behind it, getting to that root cause. I know you're all about getting to the root cause, Dr. Dan, in your work. And so it's lifting the carpet, looking at the dirt long enough to clean it. That's the awakening awareness. It's not getting mired in there and joining a support group for it and spiraling down into victim. That would be like, oh my Lord, look at all the dirt under this rug. Oh my Lord, it's like I'm the worst housekeeper ever, right? That's not the purpose of this, to beat ourselves up or anything. It's just without judgment, curiosity, going, what do I not, what don't I know, right? And that's the awakening awareness part of it that I guide participants through.
Right. I mean, you don't want to look at your life. A life examined is a life worth living, right? That was a phrase that was said. And, don't want to be superficial and just look at the outside. Sometimes you have to peel back some of those layers to get to be where you want to be. And I think that's important. And, I've worked with Dr. Irene. My son works with Dr. Irene. So, everybody knows he's a hockey player. And I can tell you, he's coming into his own in hockey, and he's coming into his own academically too, by the way, Dr. Irene. I shared with you some of the stuff that's been happening to him, and it's all been very good. And Dr. Irene is a big part of that. And she's been helping out significantly, and she's helped me out significantly, and this is a situation where you want to sign up and come on in, right? And you want to make sure, even if you just turn off the video, you turn off the audio, just to see what this is all about, because we're going to be having these master classes, and we're going to be having these hot seat coaching sessions over the next, several weeks leading up to a more intensive program to help out. So why don't you talk about what's coming up for us?
Absolutely. So the Masterclass series, to start out with, it's weekly, Thursdays, noon Eastern, completely free. Register to attend live or to get the recording. And yes, you can turn off your video.
Look in the comment section to join. I'm sorry but look into the comment section to join.
Click now. And so, yes, you can turn off your video. You don't have to participate. I will say you will get far more out of it if you do participate. This is not a webinar. This is not me like, right? In other words, this is a class and it is for you. Think of it like a lunch and learn, since it's over lunch. Even if I'm here in Crete, Greece, and I guess it's more like supper time. It's still, the point
It's
is
supper time where you are, dinner time when we stay here in the United States.
yes. And so when you, and even if you can't make it, because I know not everyone can make it over their lunch hour or whatever time zone you're in, register to get the recording. So we do these masterclass, the Retrain Your Brain hot seats, typically once a month. And because there were so many requests, we decided to run it again this week. In fact, we actually had 2 last week.
We had 2, right?
So yeah, we did 2 just to catch
And
up.
it was backed by popular demand. We had no idea that there was a second one that we were going to do. We're like, oh, we have people that are registered. We got to go. Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye. And then there are other topics that we cover as well. So this is, and they're all about giving you concrete, actionable tools, tips that you can take and put into action in your life right here, right now. So we're all about, as I said, teaching a man how to fish. So you feed him for a lifetime rather than just giving him a fish and feeding him for a day. So coming up, we do have, first of all, we have our 5-day shift into success mode challenge that is starting on the 21st of February and going through the 25th. That is going to be phenomenal. That's 5 days to feeling calm, confident, and in control. So if any of you out there are feeling like life is being done to you, that you're feeling powerless, that you are anxious, overwhelmed, worried, maybe you feel like you're stuck in a rut, or maybe you feel like you've got the Hulk smoldering inside of you and about to blow like a volcano, right? However you're feeling, this is the perfect place for you. And it's a nominal charge, barely enough to cover our expenses. And we also did that for a very good reason. I'm going to call out the elephant in the room here, Dr. Dan, on this.
Call the elephant in the room.
I am, because we put a price tag on that 5-day challenge, because if you don't have skin in the game, you're far less likely to commit and far less likely to show up. So we wanted to say, okay, what is that number that's going to make people show up for themselves? So that is coming up on the 21st. And then on the 28th, we are doing our formal launch of our Retrain Your Brain boot camp. And that is a 4-week program to release the biggest, baddest success blocks that you most likely have, and that I have found in my experience with working with so many people over the years, that this is the reason, these are the reasons why over 90% of people fail to achieve their goals in various areas of their lives. So that's what we have coming up, and so jazzed, and it all continues tomorrow with the masterclass.
Absolutely. I think this is great, and we're almost done with our time here. So tomorrow, 12 noon, February 3rd, the link is in the comment section. Come on in. Spend 20 minutes, spend a half an hour with us. We're going to go for an hour. There's going to be somebody who's going to get some hot seat coaching. We're going to select, and come on in, raise your hand. And it's in a very safe environment. You know, we had somebody in last week that had some issues. They got benefit just for the 20 minutes to a half an hour that was done by Dr. Irene. And, you know, I've been through the program. I recommend this program. I'm going through it again. All right. I'm going to be there for the 5 days. I'm going to be there for the boot camp. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm very blessed to be involved in this. And, you know, Dr. Irene will tell you the story. When she said, I think you need this. And I said, huh? I said, no way, Jose. They said, not for me, not for moi. I'm not going to do this. And all right, you know, Dr. Irene's a friend. I said, let me give it a shot. right? And then the next thing you know it, I'm doing this. Next thing you know it, I'm looking forward to it. Next thing you know it, there's some positive changes. Next thing you know it, there's a lot of positive changes that are going on in my life. So come on in, take a look, and we'll be more than happy to have you stop by tomorrow. Be an honor and a pleasure to see you. Dr. Irene, do you have any other comments that you want to make before we get off today?
If you're wondering and sitting on the fence as to whether you should commit and register, just show up. Just do this for yourself. What have you got to lose? This one, completely free.
Right.
Just show up, and with an open mind. That's all I ask. Open mind, open heart, and let's move mountains together.
Listen, if I can have an open mind and an open heart about this, you can. 100% for those of you who know me that follow this podcast. So 100%. Dr. Irene, it's always great seeing you. You're in Crete right now. It's 41 degrees here, and I'm looking out my window. I don't know, well over a foot of snow in the last week. There's no snow in Crete right now, right?
Oh, maybe on top of the mountains.
Maybe on top of the mountains. What's the weather? Give me a Fahrenheit, because you tell me it's like.
Oh, in
I'm like, I got to go back to high school chemistry with that.
I think it's about 60 degrees.
Oh my goodness. If I was at 60 degrees right now, I'd be in shorts and a t-shirt and I'd be on the beach because it's been cold here in New Jersey. So, Dr. Irene, thank you very much for coming on. Tomorrow, February 3rd, 12 noon, in the comments section, you're going to see the link. Jump on in, come on in, send it over to your family, friends, coworkers, neighbors. A little lunch, you can have lunch. We don't have to see you eat. You can just
You can eat in front of us. It's all, that's what family does, right?
I may eat tomorrow because I'm going to be hungry. So whatever that is, come on in. We'll see you tomorrow. Dr. Irene, I look forward to tomorrow. Always great seeing you.
Thank you.
And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Take care now.